Hey guys, what's up? GreenMachineSam back with another video, and today we have the first episode of my Bears reacting to, of course, the new coaching staff. Of course, reacting to Ben Johnson. Now, of course, all the coaching staff hasn't been filled out yet. I know Antoine Randall and I think JT Barrett have been confirmed to head to the Chicago Bears with Ben Johnson to be a part of their staff. Antoine Randall, I think, is going to be the assistant head coach. JT Barrett is going to be the quarterback's coach. I would like to still see Thomas Brown on the coaching staff. I don't know if him and Ben Johnson really have a connection at this point, but I would like to see Thomas Brown, if available, still on the team. Now, of course, Thomas Brown might get some interest from, different franchises to come in and be, a pass game coordinator or even an OC at this point. But I would like to see Thomas Brown back on the staff. I would like to see, some other big names being added to the staff. I know Dennis Allen is rumored to be linked to the Chicago Bears and Ben Johnson. And I just want to start this off by saying we got our guy, right? I think that's the number one thing. Ben Johnson should be the guy. He was going to be the guy. And it makes even more sense. And, last year when I was saying, hey, we should fire Flus if we're going to go Caleb Williams, I think it just makes sense to restart with the coach, if not even restart with the GM at that point too. Even going into last year, I was kind of questionable on Ryan Poles. When you stack all of his shit up against each other, it's not as clean and it's not as great as everybody thinks it is. I'll say that. Now, granted, is it just me being negative and wanting Ryan Poles out the building? I don't know, right? It's definitely a question, but I definitely knew the head coach should have been fired last year in Flus. Like I said, if we kept Fields, if we were like, oh, we want to see Fields for one more season, let's see how he rocks it, keep Flus, right? Keep Flus, keep him in the building, all that fun stuff. But if you're going to go with Caleb Williams, you should have went and got a different head coach. And it makes even more sense now, thinking back on it, and thinking about what Ben Johnson said about he was waiting for the perfect opportunity, right? He didn't want to take some coaching job where he was only going to given 2 years or 3 years, not a great roster, and expected to turn it around, right? Now seeing that he wanted to come to the Chicago Bears, that was kind of where he wanted to always go. He wanted to be with Caleb Williams. He wanted a good starting point. I definitely think if we would have got rid of Flus last year, we could have pried Ben Johnson away from the lines even last year. Now, of course, that's all speculatory, but still, it just makes more sense now thinking back on, all the some of the quotes by Ben Johnson and stuff like that, and how the Bears handled the whole situation. But we got our guy, Ben Johnson. I love it. It's absolutely fucking phenomenal that we went out and got Ben Johnson. I really think this could be a turning point. Now, granted, I know I've said that in years prior as well, but Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, that should be a surefire thing. My biggest worry is Ben Johnson is either going to be a very good play call, like worst case scenario, Ben Johnson is a good play caller but not a good head coach, or he gets overwhelmed and his play calling duties kind of suffer as well as his head coaching. There's always risks, right? No matter who we would have brought in, or no matter, when we would have brought them in, there's always those risks. I hate when people are like, the Bears should have went with an experienced head coach so that they could help develop Caleb Williams and he would have a more steady backlog of coaching. It's like, no, you don't fucking go out and hire the guy that, is a sturdy head coach but hasn't really won anything in recent years. No disrespect to Mike McCarthy. Hell, if the Cowboys don't end up bringing him back at this point, which I know they didn't, they ended up hiring Schottenheimer. I would almost see if Ben Johnson has a connection with Mike McCarthy, bring him in, see what he thinks. I would love to see more experienced coaching enter Ben Johnson's staff. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody that's currently on the head coach on the coaching staff or anything like that. Just I would like to see some more veterans added as well. I know he's going to go get his guys. He's going to go get his guys that he wants to build the team around. I will say if you can go get that offensive line coach from Detroit as well, that would be pretty fucking awesome, Ben. But this is what we were hoping for as Bears fans, right? This is what we were hoping for when Flus got fired, is Ben Johnson. And I really hated seeing that Lions fans were trying to disrespect him and be like, he called a bad game. Why are you making Jared Goff throw the ball so many times? It's like, your defense literally couldn't stop anybody. You needed to score quick. I understand Jahmyr Gibbs was averaging 10 yards a run or whatever, but you have to start throwing the ball more. And it's not his fault that his quarterback couldn't keep up with it. It's not his fault his quarterback made mistakes. Yes, the trick play, he maybe shouldn't have called that with Jameson Williams. But in those situations, we hear it time and time again, where good coaching will tell those receivers, if that guy is not wide ass open, tuck the ball and fucking run it. Do not throw that bitch. And he still threw it, right? So is that more on Ben Johnson or Jameson Williams or just an overall collective group thing? It could be all of the above, right? I just don't understand why Detroit Lions fans are mad at Ben Johnson. I get the whole going interdivision thing. I definitely understand that. I would be mad too. But your coaching, your coordinators are going to do what's best for them. They're going to take the job that they think they can actually go win at. They're not going to go take a job that they can't win at. You know, I understood why everybody was kind of leaning towards the Raiders and being like, this is actually a good opportunity for Ben if he really wanted to go. But that division is fucking stacked. Now, that's not saying the NFC North isn't stacked. But I don't think the NFC North has the talent at quarterback. I don't think Jared Goff's the long-term answer for the Detroit Lions. Will he get them over the Super Bowl hump? I don't think so. I've never been the biggest fan of Jared Goff. I get that he's playing well. I get that he's played well in the last 2.5 seasons. But you can't sit here and say that he's going to lead you to a Super Bowl, and when it matters most, he's going to go make the fucking throws that matter. I'm sorry, we just haven't fucking seen that from Jared Goff in the playoffs. He was carried by Sean McVay the first time, and he's ultimately getting carried. He was ultimately getting carried by Ben Johnson in that run game and that offensive line. I still think Caleb Williams is the pick. Jaden Daniels, as talented as he is, as well as he's playing, I'm still taking Caleb Williams. You can ask any reasonable Bears fan. They will tell you that they're still taking Caleb Williams. I still think Caleb Williams is the best quarterback of this class. I think Sam Darnold walks after his performance in the playoffs unless he understands that he's not going to get the top end money that he was going to get before the playoffs and before that final Week 18 game. I've never been high on J.J. McCarthy. As much as I've stated my love for Jordan Love, if you have not heard the story, Jordan Love was actually a quarterback I wanted them to draft because I was so out on Mitchell Trubisky. I said if Jordan Love can last to the second round, I wanted him in the second round. Unfortunately, Green Bay traded up, went and got him, and now, of course, they have him. But I don't think he's anything particular right now either. I think he still needs to develop a lot more going forward. I don't think he's currently at the stage where he needs to be that franchise guy. He's definitely a franchise quarterback. I don't think he's at the stage of going and winning you playoff games. I don't think he's at that stage of making a Super Bowl run. I still think he's a very good quarterback, right? I'll say that time and time again. Jordan Love is a good quarterback. He just doesn't have all the tools right now to get it done. Like I said, I don't particularly love the rest of the QBs in the NFC North. As good as some of these rosters are, and as good as the coaching is in the NFC North as well, that I don't think it's talked about enough. KOC is a fucking awesome coach, and seeing what he's doing with Sam Darnold and with what he did with Kirk Cousins is fucking incredible. Even if J.J. McCarthy isn't that great of a quarterback, he should be able to at least get the most out of J.J. McCarthy. Matt LaFleur, as much as I hate to say it, he's been a good head coach. I don't think he's been anything special, right? He's not anybody that I think you'd go out and trade first-round picks from another team to, for Matt LaFleur, but he's definitely a good coach, right? He's definitely a good coach. He's definitely one of those upper echelon guys. And then Dan Campbell, we've seen what he can do. Now, of course, the question marks are going to come in of, what is he going to do now that both of his coordinators are gone? And, a lot of his staff is getting depleted because those coordinators are also taking their guys, right? Because you have to remember, when a coordinator leaves, what's your best opportunity to move up? It's either staying with that same team or moving on with the coordinator who you probably have a closer relationship to than the actual head coach themselves. And then if they move into a head coaching spot, you have the possibility of potentially moving into a coordinator spot or, a pass game coordinator or a run game coordinator, something a little bit higher than just your average positional coaches. I think the main and number one thing that needs to be said is that we went out and got our guy. I love Ben Johnson. It's the correct hire for Caleb Williams. We just need to fill out the rest of the coaching staff at this point. I love, love, love this. Now, I'm not going to sit here and get all hoorah, hoorah on it honestly, and then it just shows how much those guys wanted Ben Johnson, especially a lot of the guys on the offensive side of the ball. I didn't look into exactly who came back to Chicago when Ben Johnson was announced as the head coach. I know Caleb Williams flew back. I know DJ Moore and Cole Kmet came to town. I think all three of them were out of town. I know Roma Dunze was already in town, and he ended up showing up too. But Caleb Williams also cutting off his hair, and it's giving this like scorched earth vibes of just like, okay, my rookie year, that was fun. I got used to it. I played in the NFL, but my sophomore season, this is where I take it seriously. This is where I take that jump. This is where I take that, I develop into the quarterback for Chicago. The just shaved down hair look, he looks like he's ready to go kill. And that's fucking awesome. Granted, I know a lot of people last year were like, look at Flus, he has a beard and a longer set of hair. He's going to be a good head coach this year. But, I don't know. I think it's funny that Flus apparently, where is he going? He's possibly linked to the Cowboys for the defensive coordinator job. I know we play Dallas, I'm pretty sure. I'm not quite sure in what regards, if it's at home or away at this point. I don't remember at this point, but I think that would be a fun matchup. If we could go fucking dog walk his shit, that would be fucking incredible, but not gonna hold my breath on that. But still, we got our guy. The Bears are good to go. We should be gearing up towards the draft. I will say, if Caleb is as serious as he talks, him and Ben Johnson should already be in a room together fucking plotting the whole offense. Talking about what needs to improve, what he wants to do, what he thinks he needs to stay away from, some of the bad habits that he learned, some of the good habits he learned. They just need to be going over fucking everything. And I know they are going to, because they both seem like they just love football. Ben Johnson seems like he just enjoys creating the perfect offense. Now, I think we still need a lot of pieces on both sides of the ball. I think the offensive line still needs significant help and all that fun stuff, but that'll be addressed later in free agency and, of course, in the draft. Now, of course, if you guys do not know, I do roster updates for Madden. Now, of course, I'm not doing any currently. Once the Super Bowl is over with, I'll probably have my future reserves and my free agent roster out. And then, of course, as the offseason progresses through free agency and through the draft, I'll slowly update that as well. Fortunately, the share file system is still fucking stupid. I said it at the beginning of the year. If you guys did not watch that video, the share file system is bad. You can't overwrite files. It's, you throw a file up and it's just up there for good. You can't update it, so you will have to download the roster each and every single time I post it. But overall, it should be a very good roster as well. And I literally went and tried to play Madden when Ben Johnson got hired. I was like, cool, Ben Johnson, I'm going to go play Madden. I'm going to try to build Bears. And then I played the first game, and I was like, this game fucking sucks cock. I'm getting off, and I'm going back to college football, or I'm going to go play some Rainbow Six Siege. Like, it was so bad. I spent like an hour and a half doing the off season, and then I fucking get to the first game. I play the first game, and I'm like, this game blows dick. And I got right back off. So, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be doing any Madden content in terms of just, like, pure gameplay surrounding Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears. I think I'll just wait for next season at this point. I think it would be a good franchise team for me. Number one, I get to play as my favorite team. Number two, the storyline does kind of make sense, right? It does make sense coming off of a pretty terrible season. Not a rookie QB, which is one of my things. Not a high enough overall QB, not high expectations, just stuff like that, right? I try to stick away from some of those franchises that, are either potentially contenders or playoff contenders or have good quarterbacks and stuff like that. I want to create a story, and hopefully if Madden 26 is good enough, I'll actually be willing to do a franchise. Hell, even some of the top creators on Madden kind of just gave up doing franchise because it's boring, it's stale, the storylines suck. Everything sucks about the game. Like, there's not a whole ton of redeeming qualities about Madden 25, in my opinion. I can spend fucking hours on end when I actually have free time playing college football 25, whereas Madden, like I said, played for an hour and a half, did the offseason, enjoyed it, got all the positions fixed, went through the preseason, did all that fun stuff, and then I played the first game, and I was like, this game sucks dick. I'm getting off. Fuck you guys. But I don't know. Ben Johnson was the right hire. I wish we would have done it last year. I think if we would have fired Flus last year, I think we could have got Ben Johnson in the building last season. I really do believe that. Some people might not. Some people might be like, no, Ben Johnson wanted another run, another crack at it. I think if the opportunity would have presented itself, because he talked about getting the perfect opportunity, going to the right team, I think if it would have presented itself last season, if we would have fired Flus, I think we could have had him last season, and I think Caleb Williams would have developed more last season as well. But we got him now. That's the important thing. Hopefully Caleb Williams' development wasn't ruined. I don't think it is. I think Caleb Williams has too strong of a head on his shoulders to let Eberflus and that coaching staff fuck with him long term, hopefully. With that being said, guys, if you guys did enjoy this video or any videos here on my channel, I would appreciate it if you guys do stick around and subscribe so that you guys can get the roster updates when they come out, watch Georgia Southern franchise, and all other Bears-related content. But with that being said, I'm out. Peace.